The clause is really interesting to many clubs. His agent is one of the most powerful in England, and not only so. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today guys, many things to mention, some important exclusive update, and then Mateusz Cunha, Nkunku, Jack Grealish, Virgil van Dijk. Let's jump into it together. And so guys, let me start with an official story. It's gonna be official soon, but it was an exclusive story from this morning. It's game over between Manchester United and Nuno Mendes. You remember we had several rumors in the January transfer window, especially in December, of people saying that he was probably going to Manchester United, not extending the contract to Paris Saint-Germain. PSG internally always maintain their stance. Nuno will extend, Nuno will put pen to paper, and today is a big day for PSG, because there is an agreement signed by Nuno Mendes yesterday, will be official today, so Nuno signs new deal until 2030 at Paris Saint-Germain, everything completed, the salary will be among the best paid players of Paris Saint-Germain, and so Nuno signs new deal at PSG. This is a really important update, of course. Man United invested on Patrick Dorgu in the January window, and now Nuno is staying at Paris Saint-Germain. Not only Nuno, because PSG extend the contract of Luis Enrique till 2027, so new deal for the Spanish manager, excellent relationship with the club, very happy in terms of performances, in terms also of feedback they have from Luis Enrique on daily basis on the planning with the squad, with the players, and so Luis Enrique stays till 2027. Then new deal for Achraf Hakimi at Paris Saint-Germain, signed also in this case. Vitinha signed also in this case, so Paris Saint-Germain are busy with several contract extensions already completed, and then there will be more to do in the next months, in the next weeks, but for sure Paris Saint-Germain are extending Hakimi, Vitinha, Nuno Mendes, Luis Enrique, plus more young players, so very busy hours for Paris Saint-Germain. Important extensions. Who already extended the contract of the club last week is Mateusz Cunha, the Brazilian star of Wolves, who is doing very well this season, who's been in the list of several clubs, because we know that Arsenal have had Mateusz Cunha in their list for a long time, always really appreciated internally, players that they really like, but they wanted to save a big amount of money, as the one requested by Wolves to let Cunha leave in January, for a different kind of player, a proper number 9 in the summer. So Arsenal interest was there, but was never something that they were prepared to do in the January transfer window. Then there was interest also from more clubs, because Nottingham Forest, when at some point the contract extension was with some issues, some slow movement for the player from Nottingham Forest, they wanted to try to make a very big, crazy proposal for Mateusz Cunha, but Wolves were insisting that the player was not for sale and he had to extend his contract. And then there was also some call, but it was in December, before the January transfer window, from Manchester United to be informed on the situation of the player, as he could be an interesting profile of those who can play behind the striker in the football idea of Ruben Amorim. But again, credits to Wolves in this story, because they've been fighting, they've been insisting, also in a complicated moment mid-January when the contract extension was verbally agreed but not signed yet, because Mateusz Cunha wanted the release clause. They were fighting to keep the player at the club. Now Mateusz stays, signs new deal, 2029, but there is a release clause, and the release clause is worth £62.5 million. This is the value of the clause, available for all clubs also this summer. So summer 2025, Mateusz Cunha has concrete chances to leave Wolves, because the clause is active. The clause is really interesting to many clubs. His agent is one of the most powerful in England, and not only so, for sure with very good connections for a top player like Mateusz Cunha, who is already attracting a lot of interest. Now, again, full respect for Wolves, the player is focused on Wolves, relegation battle, doing his best for the club till the end of the season, and then in the summer this clause will be active. No clauses for Christopher Nkunku, but another interesting situation to follow. Today we are here to mention what Enzo Maresca said. He said we were already planning with Christopher Nkunku to stay, and let me say that Enzo Maresca said the truth. So Chelsea club, board, owners, manager were never planning to sell Nkunku in the January transfer window. At some point there was the possibility to discuss a deal with Bayern for Matistel, maybe with Manchester United with Alejandro Garnacho, but Christopher Nkunku at the end of January was very clear with Chelsea. No chance to leave in January on loan. Permanent transfer, he was going to consider that for Bayern, for Man United, but not on loan. So permanent move or nothing. But let me say that Christopher Nkunku in January never went to meet Enzo Maresca and tell him, let me go, I want to leave. This is something that, for example, Joao Felix did. but Christopher Nkunku never did. So in case Chelsea were prepared to accept the proposal, Nkunku was open. Otherwise, very happy to stay and fight for his place. Then, the second half of the season will be really important, because if there will be no space for Christopher Nkunku, my expectation is for Nkunku to be a big name to watch in the summer transfer window, because there is interest, because Bayern will be there for Christopher Nkunku, the interest remain active. Let's see what Manchester United will do, but Christopher Nkunku could still be an interesting name for the summer transfer window. It really depends on the space, on the game time he will have in this second half of the season at Chelsea. Who is not having a lot of space is Jack Grealish at Manchester City. Today Pep Guardiola in press conference said, I understand the feeling, but some players are doing very well, Doku, Savinho, so this is why Pep is probably not giving enough space to Jack Grealish. In general, guys, since the start of the season, already in October, in November, the feeling, not for January, but for the summer, so summer 2025, was for Jack Grealish to have concrete chances to leave Manchester United in summer 2025. Let me say that my information is that Jack Grealish is giving his best for Manchester City, is not desperate to leave the club, is not creating any issue or any problem, so top professional, also great relationship with all his teammates, never create any problem, so this is highly rated by Manchester City, very happy with his attitude, but in terms of future, we have to be attentive to the situation of Jack Grealish, because in case of good proposal for the player and for the club in the summer, there is a chance for Jack Grealish to go. So he's no longer untouchable for Manchester City, and is a situation to watch for the summer transfer window. Again, at the moment we can't mention clubs, because at the moment there is nothing really concrete, but it's just a feeling internally in Manchester City that there could be some movement in that position with Jack Grealish potentially involved. Then guys, something to say also on Virgil van Dijk. Scored for Liverpool against Tottenham, always a fantastic captain, a fantastic player. As Paul Joyce reported, is truth that the agents of Virgil van Dijk were sitting next to the director of football at Liverpool, Richard Hughes, for the games against Tottenham. So there is still a very good conversation, a very good relationship between Liverpool and the agents of Virgil van Dijk. But Virgil himself once again said, who is mentioning things on my future has no idea on that. Because at the moment the decision has still not been made, but the conversations continue. So what we can say today is that Liverpool are still there, Liverpool are still talking to Virgil, Liverpool still want to extend the contract, and Liverpool are still optimistic because they want Virgil to stay and they hope to have a green light. Now is the financial agreement, the length of the contract, the conversations continue, so let's wait. As Virgil van Dijk said, nothing is decided, and if it's the player to say so, we believe that he's not a liar, of course, but it's also important to say that Liverpool maintain their stance, their position. They want Van Dijk to stay, and they will push at their best to keep Virgil van Dijk. So that's the club position. Then the player, we heard from Virgil himself, now it's time to see how the negotiations, the financial package, the view of the club and Virgil, how they will go, but for sure, the conversation remains ongoing. And so guys, let me know your thoughts on all these stories. I wait for your opinion from Van Dijk to PSG, Nuno Mendes, Cunha, Nkunku and all the rest here in comments. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and see you soon. Ciao!